Hey, good evening, Maria. Back with another video. It's 6:12 p.m. It is May 7th already. Can you believe it? Look how the time just flies by, and we're almost getting close to summertime. And it's like I've been making videos for such a long time, over 1,000 videos. So, I just want to make this video really quick before the weekend starts and let everyone know that I'm doing okay, and I'm, getting myself together every day, and it's a struggle because, as I'm sure a lot of these people who subscribe to my channel are not targeted individuals, and may have never been gang stalked. I'm assuming that the majority of the people who subscribe to my videos, they're RTIs, but the majority, I think, are most likely perps, people that I used to know. And I've noticed that I've had some people unsubscribe, especially when I tend to make points that they don't like when I speak the truth, whatever, which is fine with me. This channel was not created to be an entertainment source. It was more of me to kind of untangle what was going on with me during the time of my intense targeting. So, and I started the channel in 2015, and it took me a very long time to unravel everything. And so, it has been a mental struggle. It has been a source of severe anxiety and depression for me. And I want to make this very clear that my anxiety and my depression is not a result of feeling rejected by these people, or feeling like I miss these people, or feeling like, what went wrong. I'm disturbed by these people. And one of the things is I'm very careful about who I want to become friends with in my life, okay, for several reasons. And it's about keeping proper boundaries. And a lot of people don't have the same sort of moral standards that I have. And I'm not saying that, oh, I'm so much better, or I'm holier than thou. It's just, obviously, if I'm the kind of person, he's going to make videos about laws and how to treat other people. And even describing myself, I believe, as a social reformer on my YouTube channel. I have a big issue with people who deny the rights of other human beings, infringe on their rights, tries to bully them, spreads rumors, gossip, and then goes so far to try to manipulate and control a person's life to the point of where a person wants to consider killing themselves, okay? I find that extremely barbaric and worrisome, mainly because, you live in a community where everyone knows each other, and there's people who may be friends with these people, and oftentimes they use these people to speak for them, kind of like they're in a little perp network or whatever. And I find it emotionally disturbing. I find it disturbing that someone would want to dictate somebody's life. Somebody, when you get a divorce, somebody's chasing after you, then has a relationship with the weirdo from work, and then, still wants to kind of hang around and be a part of your life or whatever. And to people on the outside, because they don't understand certain things, they don't understand human trafficking, how it works, what it is, what it does to people. They just think, well, this is our friend, and they know this girl, and they might think it's kind of cute, or they might think it's kind of funny, they might whatever. But it is a terrifying thing when someone can bully you to that point and ruin you financially. And I will say that, yes, I am back at work and everything, but after dealing with the trauma for many, 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 many years, it affects you. And I notice that it comes out in my daily actions sometimes. I'm never rude, but sometimes, because I've dealt with the irrational behavior of some of these people. Like, for example, if you might change your hair, or you might do something at work, or maybe you might make a mistake or something, things get amplified to the point of where it's almost exaggerated. Now, I haven't had any issues at work or anything like that, but I'm just saying is that, you sometimes wonder, or you think, you don't want to always think that people are doing things to you, because of what you dealt with, or that they're doing it because they're having to associate with these people or whatever. So, it does. I mean, after year after year after year after year, I mean, I've done videos on my channel, and the total of my videos is over 1,000. Okay, and I've expressed many times in my videos about me being a victim of domestic stalking for over 20 something years, okay? And actually longer than that when I consider my school years, okay? So when you think of somebody who has gone through what I've gone through and then find out little by little of the shenanigans that people were involved in, the two-faced behavior, the deception, what I consider this to be a murderous plot that I could never forgive. Okay. It doesn't, having somebody to try to dictate your life. Okay. Not only do they want to tell you what to wear, they want you to tell you what religion you're supposed to be. They want you to, they try to pick on you, because, I try to maintain a decent weight. I don't believe that people should be overweight. And so they might perceive it as, well, that means she wants to go back to her ex-husband. I'm traumatized, terrified of what this person did. Okay. So no, I'm trying to protect myself. And I get tired of people who try to downplay the issue like, oh, well, these are your friends. These people are not my friends. And that includes the people that are my blood relations. Okay. And it's not me being severe in my behavior or overly dramatic. There are a lot of people on YouTube right now, or on some other blog, or perhaps even appearing on talk shows, who talk about their experiences with narcissistic abuse. And for some people, they hear this word, narcissistic abuse. What is it? What is narcissistic abuse? Narcissistic abuse is that some people who are even in the religious community, I'm not talking about just Christianity. As a matter of fact, there is a person there's a Christian writer who does believe that narcissism is a form of evil. Okay, I personally think that looking at from a religious standpoint, or maybe I would say a spiritual standpoint, because this is not me basing it off of religious ideology or anything, but I do look at narcissism as kind of evil. I would say evil because of what it does. It's somebody who does not have the ability to empathize. Okay, so they don't care if you had hopes and dreams, they're going to impose their hopes and dreams on you. They don't care if you have your own views, they're going to impose their views on something like what you do for a living, something that, like, for example, I believe there were certain people in my life who were trying to prevent me. Now, there is no one that I know that I'm interested in dating. I don't even know anyone. I can honestly tell you right now, after being gang stalked for a very long period of time, after you sever ties with people that you used to know, and this is very common for people who are targeted individuals, I have literally am starting a clean slate. I don't know anyone. So if something happened to me, there is nobody that I can call. Okay, and I would not want to open a dialogue with somebody who stalked me, not just in this town, but stalked me in different locations, blacklisted me, okay, which is a federal crime. I don't want these people in my life. Okay, and so I see what a big issue this is. And when I'm dealing with other people, they don't. They may not see it that way. They might be friends with my ex-husband's family or in some indirect way, and so they might think, well, you're just kind of taking this overboard. No, I'm not taking this overboard. Okay? So I don't know anybody, but I think that these people, some of these perps or whatever, think, oh, she might like somebody, or she might be interested. I'm not interested in anybody. I'm interested in staying alive after what I dealt with. I'm interested in knowing, what's going to happen to me, 3 years, 4 years down the line, because you have put my life in jeopardy. And no, I don't want to be a part of anyone's network who would do something like that. Now, I can go into naming names, but, I'm trying to get over that. But I will say this. The girl who worked at the farmer's place, I don't see how you could possibly apologize for doing what you did. I don't think that any apology or anything that you could say could justify what you did, other than you being some person who was influenced by your surroundings and wanted to, I guess, I don't know, upstage me in some way and be a part of a competition that I had no interest in being in. Okay, I don't want to be a part of your network. I don't even want to remember you. I am dealing with emotional disturbance. Severe, okay, disturbance. If I'm constantly making videos talking about these issues, that's severe. Okay, people, if it was a light issue, it's something that I would have gotten over with. I'm not over this. okay? I'm not over what somebody would do to the extreme of trying to manipulate my life in this sort of manner. I don't appreciate it. Now, the thing is that, and I'm not trying to brag on myself, because I try to keep my personal life quiet. That's what, when I first moved in this community, I was pretty quiet. I knew a few people I'd meet here and there, but for the most part, my life was always go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, okay? But I made these videos on YouTube, this particular channel, to talk about this nightmare gang stalking that I literally got sucked up in, right? So, I'm not the kind of person that likes to talk about my beliefs. The only reason why I'm talking about my beliefs on this channel is because the people that I used to know were openly challenging me on my beliefs that I have every right to exercise, believe, and exist by, because that's my right as an American citizen. Okay, and it's even more important, it's my birthright. We are born to be free, okay? And here in this United States, you are basically trying to enslave me. Basically, when you put somebody in a situation where, okay, you're gonna assign you a job, and we're gonna tell you how to dress, and we're gonna tell you how to think, and all this other stuff. And I understand certain companies do have their rules, okay? Some rules have, like, you can't wear certain skirts a certain length or whatever. Some people don't want jeans at all. Some people don't want, so that's understandable because it reflects on the public, and you don't want to bring reproach on there. But these issues were based on a relationship that I was doing everything to get out of, and it was like somebody was trying to make me submit to their whims. For what reason? I'm not married. I haven't been married in 3 years. And when somebody is trying to do this to you, okay, I'm going to tell you, it's like somebody putting a gun to your head. Okay? And for people who are just kind of looking around and thinking, well, it's not that big of a deal. It is that big of a deal. Especially when you're 50 years old and you're wondering, these people have sucked up a good 10 years. Okay, because when I worked over in Chatsworth, in Los Angeles area, these people were, doing all this stuff, and they've been doing it for years and years and years and years, okay? But still, I think about the years of my life that I've wasted, that I was running away from something that I felt terrifying, like this behavior that was constantly creeping into my workplace because of being stalked all the time. And there are some people who have moved from multiple states, okay? Luckily, I stayed in the same state, okay? But stalking is a serious issue, okay? And it's not something that I take lightly, And so because I do have, I will say it, and I'm not trying to be offensive, I have higher standards, moral standards. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but when it comes to how it's going to affect my fellow man, I would have never done what these people did. And I don't normalize it, and I don't excuse it, and I don't think it's something forgivable. Okay? When I can think about somebody who, now, I would like to say that I am not petty. I am not somebody who likes to hold a grudge or anything like that. But when somebody does something like this to you, there are people who, like me, who have dealt with narcissistic abuse. And some people go into, like, therapy. Okay? Some people go... and a part of their therapy, a lot of therapists will recommend going no contact, meaning cut off ties with these people. And for some people who've always, it's hard for them to wrap their brain around severing a relationship. Okay, whether that be a sibling relationship, a so-called friendship, frenemy, two-faced neighbor. Some people think that's just really harsh. I'm going to tell you what, it's not harsh. It's not harsh, okay? Because if you think about it, I am 50 years old, okay? There's people who, my ex-perps are multiple ages. They're all adults, but they all pretty much range in different age groups, okay? Okay, I'm set in my ways, and I believe in my lifestyle, okay? And I don't try to hurt anybody. I don't try to offend anybody. I don't try to go out and one-up people. I'm just living my life. This is all I'm trying to do. And these people literally abuse me year in, year out, constantly demanded that I justify my personal life, my personal reasons for living, and holding my employment up, denying me my rights to employment that I'm entitled to as an American citizen. They felt as though, they had the right to do these sort of things, okay? Somebody who is going to try to do that to another human being, okay? There is no justification whatsoever. It is unforgivable to me. Okay, it's completely unforgivable. It's like somebody saying, "I want you to forgive your rapist. I want you to forgive the person who put a gun to your head." The answer is no. Okay, so I deal with a lot of trauma and a lot of like what do you call it? Depression. Because I think of the years that these people have wasted, okay? And then these people want to deny me. Like I said, I don't know anybody, okay? And some people might think, oh, well, you must be trying to look for somebody. I'm going to tell you right now, no, I'm not, okay? And I know people probably make up all kinds of stories about me or whatever. Some people, such as myself, who talk about asexuality, some people are turned off by sex because of weirdos like what I'm talking about. I think sex probably has its place, okay? But there are certain people, to me, that live a defiled life or they participate in sexual activities that I find just like it's it's wrong, okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. That I believe that it's wrong, okay? And they probably think they probably want to change that view of me too. Like, well, we want to change Maria so bad. Why do you want to change me so bad? The thing is that why? So you can tolerate me? I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend. I don't. I don't want to be my sibling's friend. Meaning, I don't want to. I want it to be to where they don't exist to me. That's how much pain I feel and anxiety and sickness when I think of somebody who would do something like this, trying to control who my friends are, trying to control my so-called romantic relationships, whether they're probably all imagined because I don't, like I said, I don't know anybody. Okay, there are some people that I have talked to on YouTube, and it's something like little high and buys on Facebook. We know Facebook friendships aren't really real. They're not. I mean, like if something happened tomorrow, or is anyone going to come to my aid? I highly doubt it. You know what I mean? So these are just people that are acquaintances, is what they are. All right. So, but I don't know anybody. Okay, and they want you to like meet up with their friends, and it's like a vicious cycle of constantly being involved with the people that scare you, that traumatized you, and abused you. Okay, I cannot think of anybody who, or want to care about anybody who would think, Maria, can we, like, this is in their mind. Did it ever occur to them what they were asking me? Asking me to give up my life for their selfish motives? Like, we want you to, do this, and we want you to do that. Do things that I'm completely against. I don't believe in your lifestyle. Okay, and some people, they get offended by that. It's not because I don't do things to try to shut their lifestyle down. I mean, no, I'm just basically saying is why I'm standing up for myself. And the only reason why I'm standing up for myself is because of all of this stuff that's happened to me. Okay, people can live their lives however they want to live. Okay, but do not involve me. Okay, I find it disturbing what happened to me. I'm disturbed by it. I don't take it lightly. Okay, if obviously I'm someone who has a very hard time dealing with what happened to me, and I'm probably going to for the rest of my life. Okay, there's so many multiple layers of trauma from this. Okay, I used to think what happened to me in my childhood. I lost my childhood because I had siblings that were abusive, and when you start realizing that these were the ones who did this to you, this is the reason why this happened, this is the reason why this fell apart, then you know what? I keep in my mind, I'm thinking, these people never cared about me. These people dehumanized me. They didn't care about me. To me, it's like you didn't care. I suspect that my ex-family also encouraged the girl from the farmer's place to get involved and possibly even sleep with my ex-husband. Okay? Because they don't care about me. They never have. They never have. And there is a very sick sort of like mindset that exists in society. That I am very interested in covering this topic, okay? It's obviously I'm going to be talking about evil, which is to me something that people should protect themselves from. And I would highly advise anybody to be careful about who they bring into their life. Because evil is not as uncommon as we like to think that it is. Okay? It is an evil thing to do some people from their perspective, they might think, okay, well, I divorced my ex-husband, and so they might think, well, isn't that nice? And he's trying to keep her. That's a dialogue that these people are creating. Okay, one of the biggest issues, the biggest, how would I say, the con issue that people use when they want to stop somebody, especially when they do it through workplace resources, is they do it as a romantic interest. And the reason why is because, number one, it gains a lot of sympathy and a participation from people. You know, like some people, like for example, I don't know how the guy from high school got involved in this, but we're just going to use something similar as an example. All right, so somebody calls up a company called DJ and P, okay? And they're like, well, because they know that they know the owner or whatever, or somebody who works there. Hey, you know, I want you to hire this particular girl. I went to high school with her, and you know, I'm thinking about getting back together. Which they have no intention of doing that, but they're setting this job up so that they can get information, or they just want you to be a part of their group of friends. While you're there, they start picking on you and doing all this other nitpicky stuff because they don't like it, or they don't like what you've grown into or whatever, and they start these fights in the workplace. You know, and but this is what happens, and the reason why people don't, because they don't realize what's going on in the workplace. They know that people are getting a little bit tense or whatever, but this sort of play acting and stuff like that, it causes problems. It always causes problems. And the reason why people, there's reasons why people get other people to participate in this so blindly. Like, and I know that pretending to be a romantic interest or possible future romantic interest of the person that they're going to hire is one of the big ones. Okay? It's one of the big ones. And like I said, because people have sentimental issues, or they think it's sweet, or they think it's like, it's one of those stories of like, oh man, that's so cool. Some people would participate for that reason, just because it's like, okay, you haven't seen this person in 20, 30 something years, and then this person's right, and they think that that's great, so they're willing to help. Okay, and then some people are like, well, I want to get back together with my wife, and they're like, oh, he loves her so much, he's doing this for her, and blah, 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 blah. Of course I want to help, and people want to see marriages stick together and crazy stuff like that, so they'll help, okay, and really, that's not the truth, okay, people have their own reasons why they're saying and doing certain things. Now, I'm gonna make this understood. I want to make it understood that I don't, I don't blame certain people in the community, but there's a lot of people that I do blame and hold responsible for what happened to me. Okay, but I want people to understand how I feel, and I don't want people to minimize how I feel, because how I feel is like, seriously, it is something that overshadows a lot in my life. Okay, because it's like somebody was so selfish, they didn't care that I was screaming, making videos about how I didn't want these people doing what they were doing. They did it anyway. Okay, it's like you're screaming for your life, and they just think it's funny, and they continue doing it anyway. I have every right to live my life how I want to, and it's not that I'm somebody who wants to sit there and like making a big issue out of it. It's more the fact that somebody would literally try to threaten me and take it upon themselves to try to shut me out of employment. Like, that's just like somebody saying, well, I'm gonna force you to do what I want you to do. And I will tell you, and like I said before, and I'll say it again, I will not live a life where I fucking hate my life. I remember dealing with that shit back in the 90s where, you know, I thought, you know, I would hang out with these people who wanted to be my friend, and I would go home and just want to just die. Okay? I don't want to deal with that. I'm getting older, and I want to live out my life. I might live another year, I might live 2 years, I might live 10 years, okay? But I deserve to be happy after every fucking thing that's happened to me in my life. You know? And it's like, I get tired of people trying to, like, you know, make me into something that they want me to be, you know, and I don't like to talk about sexuality a lot. It's not a part of my life. And some people say, well, you're doing this because you're heartbroken. I will tell you what. When I was married to my ex-husband, before I found out about his relationship with his mom, before I put it together about him, he and I got along good and everything, but I never looked at him like my husband. He didn't play an active role in my life. We never had an active family life, okay? He was not my son's father, that he never adopted my son legally or anything, so there was no real family bond. He and I were just like, you know, buddies, basically. We would sit there and drink and talk and laugh and stuff like that all night. That's pretty much the stuff that we would do. Okay? But as far as like, if I was to come and say, hey, you know, we got this to talk about, we need to make plans for the future and all this, he was not somebody that ever could be relied upon. I always refer to him as a doorstop. Okay, basically, because that's pretty much all he was good for when it came to being like a husband. Okay, and that was fine with me in a lot of ways because I was always pretty independent. Like, you know, I've always kind of just wanted to kind of do things on my own. I don't look at myself as the wifey type. And, you know, I'm not, okay, because I spent a lot of years on my own before I even met Joel, my ex-husband. So it's not like I feel like I got to be this wifey person. And I get irritated when people try to force me into seeing things, you know, because some people think, oh, you know, you take good care of, yes, I believe in taking good care of myself as much as I possibly can. Could I take better care of myself? Probably. But I don't, because it's not that important to me. But I tell you what, it's important enough to like where, you know, I enjoy putting on something new or something colorful or something that makes me feel happy. Okay, because this is what I believe. I believe in these things. I believe that we should take care of our sacred temple. Our sacred temple is our bodies, who we are, okay? And, you know, and I think, you know, I was thinking about how we behave as human beings. Like when people get petty and nitpicky, especially a lot of women. Women get nitpicky with other women, or some people get jealous over other people's talents or whatever. And you know how, like, you know, I remember when I was in school, there was this girl, you know, she was really athletic shape. She had a great athletic shape, mainly because she was a dancer. She did tap, she did ballet, and she did them well. Okay, she did them very well. She was extremely graceful in everything that she did. Like, she would take her sandwich out of her lunchbox, and the way her arms moved, it was like you could tell she was like trained. It was like she was like in Swan Lake or something. It was just so like, you know, elegant and just like, damn, you know. And I knew she was like really feminine and just like so amazing and graceful, right? And so, you know, after a while eating lunch with her, I would kind of roll my eyes because it was like, because deep down inside, it kind of made me feel a little bit like I was this clumsy slob, like I just couldn't get it together. All right, and but the fact is, she has every right to be elegant and graceful. It's good that she has a hobby and she's devoting herself to it, and she devotes herself so much that her concentration is so deep into it, it comes out in what she does. She is perfecting her skill. This she is living out her life. This is exactly what she's supposed to do. I have no right to sit here and try to prevent her from doing it. Now, you know, it made me kind of roll my eyes, kind of make me like, oh God, you know, makes me feel a little bit crappy. But at the same time, she has the right to do those things. And it's not for me to throw, you know, wrenches into her plan, you know, cancel her dance appointments and cause all kinds of problems for her so I can prevent her from dancing. And I know this is the sort of stuff that jealous, competitive people do. And they normalize this behavior. It's wrong. It's called harassment, and it's wrong. Okay? I have a right to live my life. Just like the girl who was so graceful, and she's probably dancing today, and I hope that she is. Okay? I mean, we're older now, but, you know, I hope she got to dance as much as she wanted to in her adult years. I don't know. I've lost touch with her. But my point is that we all have, and, you know, the thing is, jealousy can take over a person's life. It can. And that's one of the reasons why I do see where things like narcissism and jealousy, when it gets to a certain point, I do identify it with demonic behavior. You know, and like I said, I'm planning on taking my channel to a completely different level in topics of conversation because I want to get back into revealing who I am and talking about me and what's important to me. For the last 2 years, I've been talking about this gang stalking nightmare that got created and literally destroyed my life. Okay, and I don't like to say that, but the reality is that, you know, I can't, when somebody targets you or you're a victim of human trafficking, it's very difficult for me to plan my life. You know, and the pain part is because I'm thinking in the back of my mind, okay, am I always going to be stalked? Have these people, are they going to leave me alone? I need to make plans for the future as much as I possibly can. You know, I'm not rich, I'm not wealthy, I don't have $1 million to invest here or whatever. But still, it's like, you know, there's women my age and younger who drop out of school because their families or someone, their ex-spouse or whatever, this domestic stalking that occurs, and they're not able to plan for their future. They get to start a job, and they might work 3 months, and they're like snag. And where the narcissism comes in and all this, okay, is because Okay, would they want to be in a situation like that? How would they feel if they wanted to perhaps buy a house? Okay, and so when you buy a house, you need to save it for a down payment, and you also want to furnish your home. You want to get things in order, right? And how would they feel if every time they started a job, somebody just yanked them out? Oh, she can work there 6 months, or she can do this, or we don't like what she's doing, that she has every right to do. We're going to take her and throw her out of work for a little bit, and then start over. You never accomplish your dreams, ever. Okay, but they don't think about and your goals that you have every right to. Okay, they might think, well, that's okay because she can just go back to her ex-husband and they can retire together. How selfish of you to plan something like that for another human being, especially when I've been legally divorced from my husband for 3 years. And it's disturbing to me. It's disturbing to me. So yeah, I do go with it, go through it. I go for walks every once in a while. I'm going to go back doing more walks because I like to clear my head, talk to myself, get myself straight, because it's a lot to deal with. And, you can't talk to other people about your issue. I mean, you can say a little bit here and there, but you can't really go into it because you never know who you're talking to. So this is one of the most painful things about being a victim of human trafficking, gang stalking, or whatever. And it's terrible, and it's a crime, and people don't realize just how psychologically damaging it is for a person. And the main thing is, what makes it so damaging is because I want closure. I want to know that these people are never going to affect my life again. I want to see these people either shot dead or arrested. Okay, that's how I feel about these people, including my own mother, for doing what they did to me. And no, it's not selfish. I'll tell you what it is. It's realistic, because when you think about the pain and all the horrible things that happened to me year after year after year after year, and it's all their fault, all of it, and I'm very I'm very wound up right now, okay? But still, so at this point in my life, I'm protecting myself. I'm very careful about who I talk to, and I think it's wise. I would recommend this to anybody. When it comes to making friends, you've got to be very careful about who you become friends with. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Because in this issue, in this situation, there are no loyalties, okay? No one's loyal to you. Because most people are going to be double agents, okay? That's just the way it is. So you have to be careful, and I'm done. I'm tired of being traumatized. I've been traumatized multiple times already, and it's traumatizing because I think about the missed opportunities that I've had in my life, and it's these people, you know what I mean? So, no, for people who've never had to deal with narcissistic abuse, you're very, very, very grateful for that. Thank your lucky stars that you never had to deal with narcissistic abuse. Okay, but I encourage you, if you don't know much about the subject, Google some information on it, look up some YouTube videos on it. Narcissism is not that uncommon, and their victims talk about the same things I go through. And some people have dealt with even more narcissism. Okay, when people are narcissistic, they don't feel empathy. Okay, they try to impose all kinds of ridiculous sacrifices onto another human being without considering their needs. Okay, yes, I need to live my life this way. It's the only life I want to live. And some people might say, why? I want to show you, why do you want to care? Why do you care so much about changing my life? Because these people are obviously in some sort of competition or jealous of me. Okay, yes, I do believe that people should live well, and that a woman should love herself above anyone else, and every man should love himself above everyone else. And no, it's not arrogant. It's the wisest thing to do. Because when you look at this situation, if you can easily be gang stalked, your friends can turn on you just like that. Okay, my own family rolled over on my ass, okay? In this world, you only have you. I can guarantee it. Okay, you might think, oh, that's not true, I got this buddy. When the shit hits the fan, okay? When the shit hits the fan, if somebody was to basically put someone and put an ultimatum to them, okay? Your life or theirs or whatever, you're going to see how quickly they'll throw you under the bus. They just will, okay? So in this world, yeah, I do. I believe that you should be the main person in your life. And I'm very grateful to say that I am. There is no one who is worthy of me and my care. And that's not arrogance. It's demonstrated and it's proven. My family didn't give a crap about me. My blood relations didn't give a crap about me. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I married my ex-husband. The people from high school, I don't really know them that well, okay? But they don't care about me. Obviously, okay? I don't want your religion. I don't want your lifestyle. I don't want your views. I don't want your opinions. I don't want any of that. I just want to live my life and I want to feel safe and free and I want to forget about what happened to me. I'm 50 years old and I want to live the best life I possibly can live. You know, what's left of my life. And it's a narcissistic person who doesn't actually start thinking about what you took from me and what you were attempting to take from me. You know, trying to take my life away from me. You know, to where there's nothing. No, I don't want to get married to a man. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be in a relationship. If I want to be in a relationship, then you know, if this is always revolving around sex. Okay, it's always revolving around sex. Thing is, if I want sex, then I will go out and get it. I haven't done it, so, but that's really all it is to me. I don't have a view of marriage to where I think it's like something that should be put on a pedestal, and that's something that, you know, a lot of women think that this is what they're supposed to want. This is what they're aspiring to do from the time they were younger. And I will tell you, when I was a kid, that stuff was in my head. Okay, because it's like, you know, I used to play with baby dolls and stuff like that. And I used to love those little outfits where you could wear the little apron, you had the little broom and dustpan and all that little stuff. And yeah, I thought that stuff was great, you know what I mean? But marriage is an institution that I don't want to be a part of. Okay, and I understand that it does, you know, it's a, what do you call it? It's like a joint financial thing, and that's all very wonderful for people who want to build empires and all this other stuff. I'm not interested in empire building. And therefore, for those people who are, then that's good for them. Okay, and but the thing is, there's a lot of abuse that goes on in marriages. Okay, and personally, I don't believe in, what do you call it? I don't believe in monogamy. I don't believe in that. So some people might think, oh, that means you just want to sleep around. If I wanted to sleep around, don't you think I'd be doing it by now? I got all this free time on my hands. I would probably be doing that by now, you know. But that's what they want. Okay, so if that's what it is, then, you know, I would go out and find someone and do that. But I have no interest in like tying in a knot or anything like that. I don't want to do that. You know. And the thing is that my life is so different from people, and they think they're so Neanderthal in their thinking. They think that, oh, well, you know, she just needs to be shown how to act. Okay, I am a genius. I'm not bragging. Okay, and that's just it. I am a genius. I have a very high IQ. Okay, and some people think they have unrealistic expectations about genius. So, well, that means you should know this and this, and you should know, like, you know, trigonometry. You know what? I don't know trigonometry. Okay, geniuses are different, and they're valued and skilled in many different ways. Okay. Now, if I was somebody who had a passion like that guy, what was his name, Colonel Saunders or whatever, he taught himself trigonometry, and he actually became a lawyer as well as the owner of Kentucky Fried Chicken, all on his own. I would consider him a genius. Okay, but I do believe that I'm right in my views. Okay, and because my intellectual ability kind of supports that. And I understand that I do live in a society that is morally corrupt. They don't think anything about trash talking people or violating their rights or what do you call it, abusing women or anything like that, or minorities or anything like that. You know, or they don't, they may not even realize that they're doing it because they don't have the ability to know right from wrong. They probably never even heard of, like, you know, the fact that gang stalking, human trafficking, and what these people participated in was a federal crime until I started talking about it and making videos. You know what I mean? So I'm aware that I live in an ignorant society, and I have to protect myself from it every day. You know? And so, and it's, no, I'm not an arrogant person. And some people like saying, well, you just think you're so high. No, I don't think I'm so high and mighty. Okay? But obviously my perps think I'm high and mighty, and they're trying to bring me down a peg or two. Is basically what it's trying to do. And you don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to invade my work and tell me what I'm supposed to do for a living and do all this other stuff. And I mean, you know what? That, when you were doing that a few years ago, it was abusive, and everything about it felt that way. Okay? I don't want to be friends with any of you. Okay? The only thing that you can do is clear the water, try to fix what you did if you even gave a shit, and leave me the hell alone. Okay? Because if I was to encounter you in person, I would be extremely traumatized. I don't want to hear or be triggered by being reminded of you or anything like that. It is a serious issue. Okay? And if you don't understand it, I'm sorry. Like I said, go check out some videos, talk about narcissistic abuse and the pain that people have dealt with, and then maybe you'd understand. And if you can't understand, just at least respect the fact that this person wants to move on from a tragedy and let that person live on their life in peace. Okay? Because it's too much for me to deal with. So anyway, I hope that I have a good weekend. I hope everyone who's watching my videos also have a good weekend. I'm going to wrap up this video, and I feel a little bit better now that I've got all this out of my system, because I will tell you, there's times I wake up. I woke up this morning, and I just felt kind of like, something's wrong with me today. I feel really bad because of it. Yeah, I deal with the flashbacks a lot because of the trauma. Yeah, let's just put it that way. I deal with a lot of it. So sometimes it just builds up and then I need to talk. But I am trying to take my life in a different direction. I've been asking myself, I need to feel inspired about things again. I need to care about things again. And I'm trying to get to that point, being interested in the things I used to do and get back into my life. I know that I'm 50 years old, and some people might think, well, most women your age are doing this, this, and this. Most women my age haven't lived what I've lived with, okay? Maybe most women my age are married with grandkids. That's not something, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. That's not something that I feel is essential to my well-being. It's not, okay? My personal ideas are what's essential to my well-being. My thought process, things that I think about, things that I wish I could bring to fruition. Those are the things I care about. Okay? I'm not like everybody else. I understand that. Okay? But stop trying to make me into something I don't want to be. And I'm going to resent. And I'm going to end up hating myself and hate everyone else around me. Just respect my peace and respect my life. And leave me alone. I'm going to wrap the video. Have a good weekend.